Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're getting into a case that's really pushed the boundaries of what we thought we understood about serial offenders recently. We're focusing on the trial and the psychological makeup of Kareem, known as the Taggammo Killer.
Right. And Taggammuh, for listeners, is the district where these awful events happened. The verdict just came down, and his papers were referred to the Mufti.
That's a significant step in that legal system, isn't it?
It is. It's basically a required procedural confirmation from the religious authority before a death sentence can actually be finalized and carried out. So it marks the end of a trial that was just full of unprecedented elements.
And the reason it's hit so hard, I think, is the man himself, Kareem. Our sources paint a picture, unlike anything we've seen in quite a while.
Yeah. We're talking about someone with, high intelligence, educated even, but his actions, driven purely by what the court documents called primal instincts and desires.
Like morality, faith, consequences, none of that factored in.
Seemingly not. It was overridden. And it's really crucial to stress the role of narcotics here. Chronic drug use was central, fueling this immorality.
So high functioning, but in a calculated, almost predatory way, a deliberate choice to reject the rules.
Exactly. Calculated is the word.
Okay, let's unpack that. We have this intelligent person choosing complete moral vacuum. When the authorities finally caught up, his reaction wasn't just panic, was it? It was something else.
No, it really wasn't. The initial attempt to arrest him, that tells you a lot about his ego.
What happened there?
Well, when the police moved in, he didn't just try to run. He actually tried to hit the prosecutor with his car.
Seriously?
Right.
Hit the prosecutor?
Yeah, it wasn't just about escaping. It felt like an attempt to dominate the situation, to defy the legal authority right to the very end. He needed to be the powerful one, even then.
That need for control?
Yeah.
It connects to the evidence itself, doesn't it? The most chilling part for me was finding out he documented everything.
Filmed his own crimes, yes. Meticulously.
Creating a perfect record of his own guilt.
Exactly, a perfect digital record. And yet here's the twist. The paradox of that extreme narcissism in court. He stands up and claims he was tortured. Tortured, forced to confess, both at the police station and during prosecution. Question.
Right, he filmed it himself. Why claim coercion when you have the ultimate proof created by you? This is where it gets really interesting psychologically.
It's pure ego defense. His own videos already proved the crimes, right? So claiming torture wasn't about avoiding the sentence. It couldn't be.
So what was it about?
It was about controlling the narrative of his capture. See, in his mind, being portrayed as someone broken by the state, forced into a confession that was less damaging to his self-image than just being caught because of his own recordings.
He needed to be seen as a victim of the system, even a powerful victim.
Precisely. A powerful player brought down by authority, not just a perpetrator exposed by his own hubris and carelessness and leaving that evidence. He couldn't accept that his own actions led to his downfall.
That drive for self-image overriding everything. Okay, so this leads us to the final court session, the death penalty ruling. Report said Kareem was crying.
Yes, throughout the session.
So the critical question is, was that remorse? Was he finally feeling something for the victims? Or was it something else entirely?
And that was the key assessment made at the time. Every professional observation, everything pointed away from regret for the victims. Absolutely none.
Wait, so the tears weren't for the people he killed? Then what?
They were for him. His distress was entirely focused on the indignity of the process, the insult to his person.
Indignity.
Exactly. He complained bitterly. Not about the lives lost, but about being, and this is a quote, dragged around like cattle from courthouse to courthouse.
Wow.
That humiliation, that narcissistic injury that was the source of the tears, it confirmed this complete, profound lack of empathy.
And meanwhile, his defense team was arguing something different, weren't they? Trying to paint him as broken.
Oh, strenuously. They pushed hard for him being mentally ill. A sadist, a masochist, suffering from deep psychological defects, basically arguing for an insanity plea, or at least mitigation.
But here's another bizarre turn.
He rejected it. Kareem himself rejected the insanity plea.
He didn't want to be seen as mentally ill.
Reports suggest he was genuinely bewildered by his own lawyer's claims. He communicated, essentially, I'm not mentally ill. He wanted to be seen as fully responsible, calculated.
So rejecting the plea was rejecting powerlessness.
In a way, yes. He wanted to be acknowledged as someone who chose this path consciously. He preferred being seen as a powerful villain, fully aware, rather than just a broken patient.
If he was so locked into his own narrative, what about the people around him? How did his family react? And God, the victims' families.
Well, Kareem's immediate family, they had already distanced themselves. It seems they saw this coming on some level.
They didn't attend the trial.
No, neither his mother nor any other relatives were present. His mother knew he was different. She'd noted his academic failures, his obsession with pornography. She'd tried to steer him towards religion, towards morality, but unsuccessfully.
His brother.
His brother had cut ties a year and a half before all this came out. Said Kareem had actively chosen to be different, embraced the perverse, basically. The family washed their hands of him, disowned him before the world even knew.
That's one kind of reaction, abandonment. But the victims' families, their reaction highlights something else, something incredibly tragic about societal pressure.
It really does. Sources indicate they didn't hire lawyers, they didn't appear in court.
And the most heartbreaking detail.
They refused to receive the body.
Refused the remains of their own daughters. Why?
It's devastating. They preferred or needed to believe someone else had killed them.
Because accepting Kareem as the killer meant...
It meant accepting their daughters were involved in the circumstances leading to their deaths. The drug use, the parties, whatever, brought them into his orbit. By rejecting the bodies, by holding on to this idea of an alternate killer, they hoped to avoid the crushing shame, the public judgment associated with their daughter's final choices and hours.
Choosing denial over that judgment, it just shows how far the damage radiated.
Absolutely. Beyond the killer, beyond the immediate crime.
We should also briefly touch on the accomplice, Shad. Involved in human trafficking, appeared later in the proceedings.
Yes, her appearance was another glimpse into this moral void. She showed absolutely no emotion, no remorse, no sadness, nothing.
Just numb.
More like accustomed was the description, as if this was just her reality, her business. Operating in that depraved world was normal for her.
And the connection to her own family.
She was supplying the killer with her own daughter.
Unbelievable.
It just reveals this network, this transactional depravity that allowed Kareem to operate, that supported his lifestyle.
So putting it all together, the narcissist killer, the family who disowned him, the victim's families silenced by shame. What's the big takeaway here? This feels like a serious warning.
It absolutely is. A profound social warning, really. It revolves around the mask Kareem wore so effectively.
He wasn't some recluse hiding in the shadows.
Not at all. He was described as seemingly normal, socially engaged even. A TikToker known in some circles. He taught English, ran a tattoo center. Roles that require building trust.
He was out there interacting, part of the community fabric.
Exactly. And after his arrest, numerous women came forward. They'd been in his home, taken his courses, gotten tattoos, private settings.
And they saw nothing.
Universally, they said they never suspected a thing. Never saw him as a sadist, let alone a murderer. They spent hours with him. No signals.
Which brings us to the really unsettling question for all of us, doesn't it? How many people like Kareem, hiding behind a perfectly normal-looking front, could be operating around you?
And that's the core danger, blind trust. Especially now, in the digital age where online personas, apparent competence, or minor celebrity can easily mask profound psychopathy.
We rely on certain cues, don't we? Guilt, shame, normal reactions.
We do. But when you're dealing with someone like this, a malignant narcissist who has just fundamentally rejected all the usual anchors, family, morality, religion, those conventional cues simply don't register. They don't apply to him.
So let's just quickly recap the core anomalies here. An intelligent killer documenting his own atrocities, yet rejecting an insanity plea.
Check.
Families of victims refusing their daughters' remains out of shame.
Tragically, yes.
And a community completely fooled by this functional, even somewhat public mask.
Yeah. The case really hammers home how deep narcissism, especially when fueled by addiction, can hide within a highly functional, deceptive social shell.
His driving force right to the end. It wasn't about judgment or consequences in the afterlife, was it?
No. It was all about maintaining that distorted self-image, being the dominant figure, the powerful actor, the protagonist of his own dark story, right until the final curtain.
A truly disturbing insight into hidden malice. We often depend on surface charm, professional roles, social media presence to decide who's safe, who we let into our lives. Given Kareem's calculated persona, it makes you wonder, what is that first, maybe subtle signal that the usual rules of behavior just don't apply to someone? Is there a simple, maybe non-traditional check you could use now to vet people beyond just their public face? Something for you to think about.